Hello and welcome to My Financial Aid, a platform of information regarding the programs that may be available to you, as well as your rights and responsibilities as students seeking financial assistance. My name is Hellen Rivas and we are at MDC Inter-American Financial Aid Department. Today we will learn more about the Standards of Academic Progress Appeal. Hello, Mr. Kenneth Tague. Thank you for joining us today.
Of course.
Today we would like to bring the spotlight on a great subject, the Standards of Academic Progress Appeal. Can you tell us what that is?
Absolutely, and that's a very important subject to ask about. First off, the appeal is only used when a student is not meeting the federal financial aid standards of academic progress. And what those standards are is really three components. The first component is GPA. The second component is a completion standard, and the third is maximum time frame to completion.
So, in order for a student to petition the reinstatement of his or her financial aid, do you think this form is a must?
Yes, it is. In fact, not just the completion of the form. They also need to complete an individualized educational plan with an academic advisor. Also attach a degree audit. Also have a personal statement to describe their circumstances, what happened. Why did they drop below the standards that are required? And the most important thing is for them to attach third-party supporting documentation. The committee that reviews this always looks for documentation to support what they're saying in their personal statement.
All right. So in order to fill this form out, does the student need their MDC username and password?
They need their MDC ID, but they need to set up an account with dynamic forms. For all of our forms, we have an account they can set up with a user ID and password. It's very simple. That's really all they need. They do not need their MDC password, but they do need the dynamic forms password and user ID.
For the 2014-2015 verification worksheets, I noticed that there are several forms to fill out. So can we start with the dependent verification worksheet? Does a student need to fill that form out?
Generally, if they're a dependent student, which means they rely upon their parents, and this is according to the federal government that it's determined, for financial support, they need to complete the dependent worksheet. It would be signed off by the student and the parent. The purpose of the worksheet is really to determine household size and part of household resources. So therefore, both the student and the parent would complete it and say how many people are in your household, how many people are going to college in your household, and other questions as well.
What about the dependent child verification worksheet?
This is something that's selected by, again, the federal government. They're the ones who determine who gets verified and who doesn't. It's not us. So if you're selected for child support paid verification, you need to complete this worksheet. Even if you do not actually have a child, it's important that you complete the worksheet because the federal government is asking us and therefore we're asking the student.
And what about the independent child support paid verification? Do they also need to fill that one out?
Absolutely. Again, when we decide, yes, we need to have this, the federal government says, okay, we have to have it. So what you need to do, let's say if you don't have children. If you don't have children or do not have child support paid, you need to simply put not applicable on the worksheet. Still complete the worksheet and sign the worksheet, but simply put not applicable.
And what is the difference between the independent and the dependent verification?
Pretty much it's the same thing, except one is going to include your parents, the dependent, and the independent would not include your parents.
One of the mistakes that many freshman students make is filling out the Identity and Statement of Educational Purposes form. Many of them fill it out for no reason. So why do you think it's important that the students wait until the advisor tells them that they need to fill it out?
Let me tell you two things on that. The first thing is rule of thumb. Always wait until the financial aid office asks for a worksheet before completing. As you know, we have a number of different worksheets online. Many students try to preemptively go in and fill out all the worksheets. However, that causes more problems than it fixes, and you may not even be selected for verification, so we may not even need those worksheets. So therefore, in the case of the specific worksheet you mentioned, the Identity and Statement of Educational Purpose, only a select group of students are actually identified to actually get the worksheet completed. If they complete the worksheet on their own and sign and do everything, the problem is they have to sign in the presence of a financial aid advisor. If they don't sign in the presence of a financial aid advisor, they have to complete the worksheet again. Again, this is only if someone needs to complete that worksheet because many students do not.
If a student has more questions, would you be able to give us a website or a phone number? And I know that you like to answer students' emails as well. Can you give us some more information?
Absolutely. The phone number here at Inter-American Campus for financial aid purposes is 305-237-6040. Again, 6040. So it's important. That's the main contact number. However, I may regret this. However, I always respond to my email, so I generally give students my email address if they have any issues whatsoever in contacting.
Okay.
So my email address, just in case anyone wants to know, ktague@mdc.edu. So if any student has difficulty in getting through on the phone line or talking to an advisor, please email me directly and I'll make sure they get contacted with the correct person.
Mr. Tague, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you for watching My Financial Aid. I hope you have learned much more about the standards of academic progress appeal. My name is Hellen Rivas. See you next time.